You wake up, and the house is still. There are no footsteps echoing down the hallway. No voices calling your name. The phone doesn't ring. The walls haven't changed, but something deep within you has. The silence that used to feel like peace now weighs heavily on your heart. This is the reality that many people silently slip into as they grow older. It's not always illness that steals joy from the later years, sometimes, it's something more subtle. Something more painful. It's the quiet. The kind of quiet that doesn't comfort but stings. A hollow kind of silence that comes when the people who once filled your world have moved on, drifted away, or disappeared with time. Your children might be far away, not out of malice, but simply overwhelmed by their own struggles, their own survival. Old friends fade into the past, some lost to death, others to distance, and a few to the slow erosion of time. The partner you once built a life with may be gone. Whether taken by death, separation, or illness, and you are left staring at a chair that used to be filled. No one talks about this stage enough. Not really. Because the truth is hard to say out loud, you can grow old and find yourself completely alone. And yet, listen closely, this isn't the end of your story. It might feel like a devastating ending, but it's something else entirely. This is a new beginning. It's not the beginning you asked for, but it is one of deep transformation. And if you can face this version of life with honesty and bravery, you can emerge from it stronger, wiser, and more radiant than ever before. You see, aging is not just a decline of the body. It's the awakening of the soul, if you allow it to be. Many people quietly deteriorate, not from illness, but from emotional starvation. They tell themselves they're no longer needed. That their best days are behind them. And they begin to disappear. First mentally, then spiritually, and finally, physically. They become ghosts in their own homes, sitting by the window, watching a world that no longer seems to include them. But that path, the path of emotional fading, is a choice. And today, I want to offer you another choice. I want to share with you 3 powerful steps that can change the course of your later years, not by erasing the pain, but by transforming it into wisdom, strength, and deep personal meaning. These are 3 things to do when you feel abandoned or forgotten, not to numb the suffering, but to rise above it. Let's begin. Step 1. Befriend the silence and rekindle your inner flame. The first thing you must do is something few people are willing to try: embrace the silence. Not just tolerate it, but make peace with it. Let it become your teacher, not your enemy. In your younger years, life was noisy. There were children needing dinner, jobs that demanded your time, phones ringing, dogs barking, neighbors knocking. You were pulled in 1,000 directions. And in all that noise, you rarely had time to face your inner self. Now, the world has gone quiet. And for many, that silence is terrifying. Because for the first time, you can hear the voice inside you, a voice that may be angry, hurt, or afraid. It whispers things like, "No one needs me anymore," or "I don't matter." But here's the truth, that voice isn't trying to hurt you. It's trying to be heard. And if you can sit with it long enough, something remarkable happens. You begin to hear what's beneath the pain. You begin to remember who you really are. Take a journal. Sit in a quiet room. Write down the things you've forgotten about yourself. Not your titles or your job, but your spirit. The person you were before life got loud. Because that person still exists. You haven't disappeared. You've simply stopped listening. And now that the silence has arrived, it's time to listen again. It's in this stillness that your inner fire can be reignited, not from the outside world, but from the quiet power that has always lived within you. Step 2. Reclaim responsibility and rediscover purpose. The second step is more difficult, but just as important. You must reclaim responsibility, not because the world demands it, but because your soul does. When we're younger, responsibility is imposed on us: children to raise, bills to pay, careers to build. But in old age, no one asks anything of you. And that, ironically, is where the real danger lies. Because the psychological need to be responsible doesn't vanish with age. In fact, it becomes even more vital. Without purpose, the mind begins to crumble. The spirit wilts. You must choose something to be responsible for again. Not because someone told you to, but because your inner world needs it. Maybe it's your garden. Maybe it's a weekly phone call to someone who's even lonelier than you. Maybe it's cleaning your neighborhood or mentoring a younger person. Anything that demands your care and attention. Refuse to believe the lie that you have nothing left to give. That's poison. You are full of experience, full of lessons that others can't learn from books. But they'll only be heard if you speak. If you act. Responsibility grounds you. It gives your suffering form and meaning. It transforms you from someone who is fading into someone who is growing. It makes you needed again, by life itself. Step 3, forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you do. Now we come to the most spiritually demanding step of all, forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't about others. It's about you. It's about your peace. It's about setting yourself free. As we age, we carry ghosts, old betrayals, regrets, wounds that were never allowed to heal. A child who stopped calling. A friend who disappeared. A sibling who said something unforgivable. Or maybe we carry pain caused by our own hands, mistakes we made, things we wish we could undo. And slowly, if we're not careful, this pain becomes our identity. We begin to expect disappointment. We see rejection in every silence, betrayal in every absence. And then, without realizing it, we build a wall between ourselves and the world, not because others don't love us, but because we've decided they couldn't. But you don't have to carry that pain anymore. You can release it. Forgiveness does not mean saying it didn't hurt. It doesn't mean pretending it was okay. It means saying, I will not let this pain dictate who I am becoming. You deserve that peace. You deserve a heart that is light, not heavy with the past. And you deserve to live your final chapters without being chained to old wounds. Forgiveness is a sacred act of self-liberation. It's a declaration, this is my life, and I will not let pain define it any longer. The final chapter isn't the end, it's the pinnacle. Old age isn't a slow decline. It's a sharpening. A refinement. A final chance to become the version of yourself that you were always meant to be. This is not the time to disappear. It's the time to stand tall, even in the quiet. To speak, even when no one asks. To love, even when it's not returned. To give, even when it's not expected. You may be alone, but you are not irrelevant. You may feel forgotten, but you still have something to say. And the world still needs to hear it. Walk into the twilight of your life with your shoulders back and your head held high. Let your final years be marked not by surrender, but by soul. You're not just a retiree. You are a survivor. You are a teacher. You are a living story of endurance, loss, love, and redemption. You may feel like no one is listening. But millions of others feel just like you do. Right now, someone else is sitting in a quiet house, watching this, aching for a spark. Be that spark. Don't just nod and scroll on. Leave a comment. Share your story. Pass this message on to someone who needs to hear it. Not because it fixes everything, but because it proves you're not done yet. Stretch your back. Breathe deeply. Choose to live as if you still matter, because you do. You don't need to wait for someone to save you. You can save yourself. The world still needs your light.